Hello, everyone. We've got some very, very big announcements in regard to DHHR. First of all, I want to tell you that Secretary Crouch has submitted to me a letter announcing his retirement as of December 31st. In the interim period, Secretary Crouch will operate in an advisory role. I want to talk just 1 second about Bill Crouch. He's been with us approaching 7 years now. He came out of retirement and took this position, and a position that oversees roughly 6,000 employees. You know, a position that for decades and decades and decades there had been need for improvement. Absolutely a position that along came with it COVID and all the different things, ramifications of COVID. We should absolutely all be very thankful and appreciative of the job that he's done, because it's one tough, almost thankless job in lots of ways. Absolutely, Bill Crouch has led us through all this and absolutely done an amazing job, and we should be thankful for the service that he provided all of us. With all that, we approached a situation to where we had a McChrystal report. And we absolutely went out and solicited and found the best in the business to come in and do a top-to-bottom evaluation of DHHR. You know, I was hopeful that Bill would stay through that report, and he has. And again, I am appreciative of that. Now, you know me, I'm an impatient guy, and I want us to move forward as efficiently and as fastly as we possibly can. Now, with that, again, me being the most impatient guy in the room always, I want us to have the greatest results at the end of the day as we possibly can have. Now, with all that, I'm a real believer, that we've got to move forward. And with that, I'm also a real believer that as we go through life, when there's any kind of battle, I'm the guy that says, don't go to the battle with a pea shooter. Go to the battle with a bazooka, and then some. And so with all that, I immediately called the bazookas, the very, very best of the best. And they're with me today. And I'll introduce them. You know them very well. But as Bill transitions and we use the ability to call on Bill and ask him things where we things that we may just are not familiar with. We are today, and I want to read this, but effective today, Dr. Jeff Coben, the Associate Vice President for Health Affairs and Dean of the West Virginia University School of Public Health, will become our interim secretary of DHHR. That's one bazooka. The second and third bazookas are just this, and they're going to speak right as soon as I get through. And that is just this, is Dr. Clay Marsh and General Hoyer that have been with us and been with me through really, really dark days. No one could ever say that they are not superstars beyond belief and not have done an unbelievable job. I called them, and I asked them to do something really, really special, and that is to be advisors. To be advisors through this entire process, to be advisors as we look for a new secretary, a new permanent secretary, for DHHR. To look through the process and try to absolutely look at the McChrystal report and look at ways to absolutely advance this ball as quickly as possible. They've agreed to do so. And I hope and pray that they'll absolutely be able to stay the entire time of my governorship from now to the very end as advisors to help us make DHHR better and better and better. Now again, let's be really fair, really, really, really fair. Whether it be there's 100 problems or there be 10 problems, there's been so much goodness and so many achievements along the way, DHHR, decades and decades of problems and everything, and difficult problems that you don't have easy solutions for. You know, West Virginia has one gigantic problem today, and all of us should recognize and celebrate this. We need more people here, do we not? I mean, at the end of the day, no matter whether it be DHHR or it be coal companies or it be Arby's or McDonald's, everybody needs employment. Everybody needs people. And in government, a lot of times, you're not paid a whole lot of money. And so therefore, recruiting people becomes a real problem, a real issue, a real challenge. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. You see, in my world, it's as simple as just this. I always say as simple as mud. I go back to my dad. My dad so many times, over and over and over, would say, son, I don't care about all the problems. I don't care how hard you try. I want you to achieve. That's why I say over and over and over, don't confuse effort with accomplishment. So we're going to achieve. And we're going to achieve as we've done across the board all through the governorship. And I thank all those that have really, really helped me be able to achieve. And so with all that being said, I'm going to turn now to Dr. Marsh. We're going to wish Bill the greatest in retirement, the second retirement, the greatest of the greatest. We're going to be so thankful for what he brought to the table and gave us so loyally. You know, with all that being said, as I transfer to Dr. Marsh, we're going, Bill's a fly fisherman. And I didn't know it until not long ago, but a real fly fisherman. And we're going to, absolutely wish him the very best as he continues through his retirement with his family and absolutely with the honor of doing a great job here. And I hope he catches more trout than he can possibly just wear them out. Anyway, nevertheless, if I could defer to Dr. Marsh now, and it's a good day for West Virginia, a sad day in some ways, but a good day for West Virginia, and we move on. Dr. Marsh.
Well, thank you, Governor. And I also want to share my debt of gratitude to Secretary Bill Crouch, who is a good man, who took over a very large entity and ended up having the COVID pandemic fall in the middle of his oversight of the Bureau. And I also want to thank all of the great workers we have who are at DHHR, who do the great work for West Virginia every day. We believe deeply, as the governor does, that we are here to try in every way to improve the health and well-being of our citizens, to provide the access to critical health care assets for each and every West Virginian, and to do our best to protect the vulnerable, the most vulnerable in our state, whether that be for risk of COVID or that be for our children or our elders or people who don't have the same capabilities for getting what they need as others do. We are deeply committed as a team to be able to help the governor in every way. And I am just so pleased and so appreciative that Dr. Jeff Coben, who is here on my immediate right, has agreed to serve as interim secretary. Really, the state of West Virginia, although perhaps people don't know Jeff as well as they know General Jim Hoyer or me, Jeff is an outstanding servant. He is an amazingly smart guy who has taken the School of Public Health to another level for us at the university, and has also worked closely with the state, with DHHR, and helped architect the Medicaid Innovation Program and Grant, and has worked not only with Secretary Crouch really closely, but also with former secretaries of DHHR. And Jeff and I both agree that having Secretary Crouch still available to help with this transition, to make sure things go smoothly, is really, really important. And so, Governor, I'll turn it back to you, but we are very pleased to be able to serve you in the state of West Virginia.
Well, I'm going to turn to our great general and let General Hoyer speak, please.
Thank you, Governor. Just to echo what both the governor and Clay said, I too want to thank Bill for his outstanding service to the state. I don't think you'll find anybody that worked harder than Bill and the staff at DHHR, particularly during this pandemic. And, you know, when the governor calls and says, hey, I need you to help, we're dealing with an agency that deals with the most vulnerable of our population, whether it's our seniors or young children, and we need your assistance, then you step up, and Clay and I will do our best to provide the best support and advice we can to the governor to move things in the direction that we need to continue to move as a state. And one thing I know about Governor Justice is it's about taking care of the people and the citizens of West Virginia, and Governor, we'll do our best to help you get to where you want us to be and where we need to be as a state.
Well, let me now introduce our new acting secretary of DHHR, Dr. Jeff Coben.
Thank you, Governor. I'd like to thank you and also thank General Hoyer and Dr. Marsh for the opportunity to be of service. I also want to recognize the many contributions of Secretary Crouch over these last several years, and I've gotten to know Secretary Crouch quite well. And as Dr. Marsh mentioned, I've spent about 12 years working closely with the dedicated staff of DHHR, and I don't think you can find more dedicated public servants. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to help with this transition and very much look forward to working with all of those inside DHHR and those throughout our community and throughout the great state to address the many issues we face, many health issues we face as a state, head on and as quickly as possible.
Well, thank you, Doc. And for Dr. Marsh and Dr. Coben and General Hoyer, I've always surrounded myself by the very best. And I could never be more thankful for the job that all of you've done, but especially Dr. Marsh and General Hoyer from the standpoint of they've been right with me hand in hand. It was a big ask to call them up on the phone and say, you know, can you do this? Will you come? Really and truly, because we know we want to do the best beyond belief for our seniors, our kids, on and on and on. So many that are having a tough time. It is a dadgum tough job. That's all there is to it. And there's so many moving parts, it's unbelievable. But absolutely, I absolutely believe that they know, and I'm sure they know. I am so impatient. I want goodness, and I want it right now. That's all there is to it. We have a McChrystal report that we're very, very proud to say, you know, we asked the best in all the world to evaluate and give us guidelines as to what we should do. And we're all about implementing just exactly that. Again, we wish Bill the greatest of the greatest and everything. But it's time now to really move on and continue to do good stuff, but maybe in every way we possibly can try to do better stuff. That's what we do in everything we do every single day. So again, I absolutely step back and say just this. We got so many good people in DHHR. They come to work every day, and they give and they give and give and give. And lots of times it's a very thankless giving. But absolutely, I want to be sure that every single last one of those folks know that we appreciate them and we love them. And we'll absolutely all work together and pull this rope together until we get this thing the very best of the best. So thank you all so much. I know there'll be lots and lots and lots of questions in the days ahead. You have total access, in my opinion, to all these people, anybody and everybody. I have tried to be completely transparent at all times in everything we do, and that's the way I'm going to stay. You see, at the end of the day, I really believe, and I've believed this always, if you tell our people the truth, whether it be, a tough day or not a tough day, you tell our people the truth, and you keep us all pulling the rope together, at the end of the day, we're going to win this race, and we're going to win every single challenge that comes in front of us. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. God bless all of you. Thank you.